Oh, jeez. There's going to be spoilers in this video, by the way.
Oh, we're recording. Okay, very good. So we're gonna. This is our first impressions on Episode 8, Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
And like I said, just in case you didn't read the title and you didn't hear what I just said, there will be spoilers in here, so that's your warning.
Yeah, because we don't care enough to actually do two versions of this. Who was that? You?
Man,
Nasty. So let's go ahead and start.
That sums up the movie, by the way.
Yeah. What are you guys' thoughts? First thoughts? Because I was thoroughly disappointed.
Anger.
And confused.
Anger.
Okay, so
I'm mad.
I gotta be honest. The first half of the film, while I was watching in the theater, the first half of the film felt like they were trying to kind of rehash Empire Strikes Back.
How so?
It just felt like Empire Strikes Back, just kind of like Episode 7 felt like Episode 4.
The way it did. It was a rip-off.
Episode 8 started out to me like it was going to be a rehash of Episode 5, and I was thinking in the theater, I'm like, are they really going to do this like the entire way through the entire trilogy? Are they just going to mimic what's already been done?
So
I wish they had.
It would have been more enjoyable than what we saw. I'm as you guys know, when we did this for Episode 7, I ranked Episode 7 near or at the bottom of the list of all the movies, and I said at the time, I will probably like this movie more when I see Episode 7. At this point, or 8, yeah, I can say that I dislike them both equally now.
Okay.
For different reasons. In my opinion, Episode 7, it did ring hollow because it was a soft reboot. They played it super safe. And this one, because there was no need for it. And at this point, the way the trilogy is going, I really do got a bad feeling about this.
Let me just say this real quick. Episode 9 better come with some fucking fire. As bad as... I'm not going to say it's bad. Hang on. Episode 8 wasn't bad. It just wasn't great. It wasn't that good.
It was unnecessary.
They definitely could have done more with it. But like we have like in the trilogies we have this build up, and then we have a climax. You know what I mean? And right now there's no build right now with the last two films. This one especially, there's just no build.
I don't care what happens next. That's the biggest movie sin. When you're building up a sequel, I don't care what happens to these people now.
Well, I think the thing that really bothers me is the fact that as of right now, and again, might change with Episode 9, they might come out and just blow everybody's mind. But this trilogy, as it stands, is unnecessary. Episodes 1 through 6, you had a full story arc. It's Anakin's story, his rise, his fall, and his redemption. This just seems like they just made up something just to say we have a new trilogy of Star Wars.
If you're going to, it's like a book, right? So you have a book and you have chapters 1 through 20, and that's your book. Okay, episodes 1 through 6. That's your book essentially. If you want to continue that story, you could either do another book, or you could try to add chapters to it. If you're going to add chapters, say chapters 21 through 30 in that book, they have to somehow relate to the other ones in that, and make those 1 through 20, those chapters mean something different, and make the whole
tie
book,
things together.
It has the whole make the whole book a new, completely different narrative, and they drop the ball. Like this new movie doesn't change the narrative that much, and I thought going in that they would. And when I say tie in, I don't mean like cameos from Yoda because he was in the other ones. That's simple stuff. I'm talking about overall arcing narrative. It's just not there. Now they may redeem it, and we may change all this stuff in Episode 9 and be like, okay, well this is what the entire narrative is. But right now it just feels like they tacked on. They tacked on. They like, instead of adding chapters to that book, they just made another book. And if you're going to do that, if you're going to make another book, then just make a new trilogy somewhere else in the timeline. It has nothing to do with the Skywalker legacy.
I'd be happy with that.
You said something just a minute ago, and I said this in the theater, like first thing, because Buck looked at me and was like, "What'd you think?" We didn't learn anything. We didn't learn shit from this film, like nothing. Who is Snoke? Well, doesn't matter because guess what? He dies.
Exactly.
Goes out like a bitch. Who is Rey? Well, we find out that basically her parents were probably fucking drug addict drunks and sold her off for fucking money to do heroin or something.
I'm hoping that's misdirection.
I hope so, but
if that's true, then this truly is an unnecessary.
We learned
trilogy.
nothing. We learned nothing from this film. We learned nothing about the characters. We learned nothing about their backstory, except that they're just not special. You know what I mean? In episode 5, you learned that Vader is Luke's father, and it's like, holy fuck. You learn nothing in this film. There's no like, oh my god, I didn't expect
a big
that.
reveal
Nothing.
in this one.
It was nothing.
The way there was that big reveal in the second act of the original trilogy.
I'm tired of this new trilogy of Star Wars. They're one, they're not telling any kind of fucking story. Okay. 2, forced love scenes. Even in episode 7, it seemed like there was this half-assed developing thing between Rey and Finn, and it was just so forced and unnecessary. And even in this one, Finn, again, I don't know why, but he gets the bitches apparently. So it's unnecessary. Another thing that still fucking bugs the fuck out of me, Rey is untrained. She's an untrained. How is she any kind of fucking anything with the Force?
They have to explain that in episode 9.
She's unfucking trained, yet she's moving fucking avalanches and fucking dope ass fucking sword fighting skills and shit. Mm-hmm. Like she was going one-on-one with fucking Luke and held her own. Get the fuck out of here.
Actually, a lot of things have to be explained in episode 9.
And Snoke even says that he was like, this person is untrained. First time she picks up a lightsaber, you met your match. Mm-hmm. Okay, why? We learned fucking nothing from this film. Billy, go ahead. You look like something's brewing over there.
I mean, it is. It's like she better have an explanation in episode 9 of why she's that powerful. I don't care if it's something stupid like she's a reincarnation of fucking Anakin.
No, I'm done. If that's the case, that's the only thing that makes sense at this point because she saw herself when it said
that's I caught that too.
I'm done. I'm done with this trilogy if that's the crap.
Well, I mean, it'll be episode 9, so you'll be done anyway. So
I mean, yeah.
If that's the angle they're going, then this trilogy does not count.
But I would rather have that than just have her just super powerful in this Force that could do all this stuff without being trained because that makes no sense to me.
Hang on. Remember when Snoke says, "I connected you two to talk to each other"?
Yeah.
Well, they did it again after he was dead. So who did it then?
I don't know. Maybe once the connection's there.
Who did it? It didn't make sense. Who did it then? Rey and Kylo throughout the film, like they're talking to each other, like they're having a conversation in the same room through the Force. Okay, almost like telekinetically, if you will. Well, Snoke reveals, "Well, I did that. That was me. I'm the mastermind behind all of this." And then he dies, and they're still doing it. How the fuck?
What I have a problem, my biggest problem with this movie isn't all that stuff. While it does bug me, it's whenever something has a conclusion like episode 6 of the original trilogy, if you're going to add to it, you have to do it in a way where you don't undermine the things that happened in episode 6. And it's like every movie that this goes on, where it's episode 7 and now episode 8 especially, it's like that redemption of Anakin and him taking out the Emperor, it's like
means a little bit less.
It means a little bit less. It means that what Luke did in that movie, it means a little bit less. And even Luke in this movie says, "Oh well, there was balance in the Force, but then Kylo Ren happened." So the whole prophecy of balance in the Force and all that other bullshit, it's like, for what? This prophecy, when I don't know when they predicted it or whatever, 100,000 years ago, 1,000 years ago, whatever, that it was in a crystal. Someone will come and the chosen one will come and bring balance to the Force. It only lasts 15 years, but hey, he'll bring balance to the Force. Well, it's okay, what's the point?
I mentioned that when we were doing the same thing on episode 7, because like them or not, the prequels added some weight to the original trilogy. Once you see them and you know that backstory, especially Return of the Jedi, once you get to Return of the Jedi, it's a more impactful movie once you realize what Anakin's been through and the fact that he does turn around and decide to be redeemed by his son. And whereas that trilogy lended strength and weight to their original trilogy, this trilogy should be doing the same thing, and it's taken away because you realize the end of Return of the Jedi, it doesn't really matter because guess what? The Empire still exists in one form or another. There really is no Republic that's lasting. There's no more Jedi still because they all got killed. So, I mean, what was the point of that
build-up? The only thing we learned in this fucking film is shit we already knew. Like, Kylo took off with some of the other motherfuckers that were training with Luke. Mm-hmm. We already knew that. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no backstory on, what are they called, Knights of Ren? There's no backstory on that. There's no backstory on shit. Nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing.
There's no. Yeah, I mean, Snoke again. You know, all the theories on who he is. It doesn't matter at this point. You know, because he got taken out.
All these theories on who Snoke is don't matter.
All seeing, but he didn't see what Kylo was about to do to him. Right.
So, okay. So episode 9. Here's what needs to happen. Abrams, I hope you're watching. You got to tie this movie into like an overarching, go back full circle with this thing. With the rest of the six.
Not just the original trilogy, but episode 1. The entire saga.
Okay, so in my opinion, it has to come back to balancing of the Force. Because if that prophecy, and yes, I know people are going to be hating on the prequels, but that fucking shit's canon. It happened. Deal with it. Okay? So we're talking about a prophecy of the chosen one who brings balance to the Force. If you're going to sit there and say, okay, there's no longer balance in the Force after 15 years where it supposedly became into balance at the end of Return of the Jedi, okay, I don't accept that. All right? So this 9th movie has to be the balancing of the Force for real that basically puts the fucking galaxy at rest and at peace for like forever or whatever, okay? So it has to be that. It has to be balancing of the Force, you fucking idiots.
But what if it doesn't? What if they leave us hanging and then like, oh, guess what, guys? In 3 years, new trilogy, 10, 11, 12 coming out.
It's then they just don't get it. They don't fucking get it. Ryan Johnson, I had faith in you. I thought you understood filmmaking.
Damn.
It felt like filler, didn't it?
It felt like tacked on filler. It didn't feel necessary. It didn't progress the story to make the events that happened in 1 through 6 matter.
Yes.
In fact, it made them matter less. How do you do that? Why do you do that?
That's my biggest issue right there. I think that's the most important thing too. And I'm kind of dumbfounded by the reviews that people are giving saying that this was the best thing since Empire. I don't see how. They saw a different movie than I did.
No.
When this movie ended, I looked over at Bill and I said, what did we just see?
What did I say?
You said a bunch of crap, and I was relieved that you said that because we disagreed on episode 7, and I was sitting there thinking I better not be the only guy who was really, really upset with the way this movie went down.
Another thing that really bothered me about just the entire film in general is, why was it so funny? Why was it so funny?
The humor took me out of a lot of moments, and that's especially the first part. That's where I really had a bad feeling about where this movie was going, was because I was really pumped up when I saw that, oh, the rebels are fleeing, the First Order is coming to get them, and I was reading that title scroll, and I'm scrolling, I'm like, oh, holy crap, this is going to be like, love it or hate it, episode 3 had probably it probably did have the best opening of all.
Oh, yeah.
Of like when Obi-Wan and Anakin are swooping in with those ships, and it's just action-packed, and things are blowing up. I thought it was going to be like that, where it's just like bumped up, blood boiling, holy shit, they're getting some stuff done. And
they send Poe out, and one X-wing is Poe, and he's basically head to head with this destroyer.
The destroyer, and there's just jokes. There's jokes being had.
Well,
it took me out of the moment. It's like you should have just went in balls blazing. Just you don't have to have an exposition in that point. Have those fucking ships fighting. You know what's happening. The First Order is coming to get the rebels, and the rebels are trying to escape. That's all you need to know. You don't need jokes. You don't need all these plans being explained. Just have fucking ships blowing up and shooting the shit out of each other.
I didn't mind the fact that there was comedy. My problem was the comedy didn't feel like Star Wars comedy. It didn't feel like it felt like what you would see.
And that's what I hate. That's what I hated about that Hux. Where he's like, can you hear me? Well, this is a serious moment, but I'm going to make faces and be cute about it.
Yeah. Okay, basically, so Poe, to set the scene up for people who have not seen it, Poe he's patching into the destroyer to talk to General Hux. And Hux is talking, and he's like, yep, I'm holding for Hux. And then he says something, oh, still holding. Like, the only thing I was missing was, can you hear me now? Like, that was the only thing that was fucking missing from this. The jokes were too frequent. They didn't feel like Star Wars jokes. It wasn't little one-liner puns. It was like
Some you'd see more like a Will Ferrell movie or something.
dude,
you know?
it was like
one
it
of
was like they were
these
trying to
cop
make
comedy.
It was like they were trying to make an
shows.
action comedy. And what did I say in the parking lot? The only thing missing was Tracy Morgan and Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
You know
That's the
what?
only
You know what it
fucking
reminded me
missing
of?
from the movie.
Reminded me a lot of the comedy in like Avengers movies and stuff.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And I said that. The new Thor had a lot of funny, a lot of comedy, but it fit. It fit that kind of movie. It didn't fit in Star Wars, but yet they threw it in there
That
anyways.
freaking Luke getting his lightsaber and tossing it over his shoulder.
Yeah.
And look, I'm not over here saying, "Oh, Star Wars is serious business." Every Star Wars movie has comedy, but some of the stuff felt slapstick and just out of
It did.
place.
It felt
it
like, dude,
didn't-
what
yeah.
did I just say? If Rick Moranis was in the movie, would have been watching fucking Spaceballs. I mean, it was almost on that level.
Yeah.
Stupid.
You're right, Luke. Okay, I get it. Yeah, Luke, you're trying to detach yourself from the Force because you felt like you failed, your nephew or whatever. You get your lightsaber, and you just go, meh, and just walk off. It's not funny. It's not funny.
Well, and also just the fact that everything felt funny enough, rushed. It felt rushed, but we didn't really learn anything.
2.5 hour film that felt rushed, and we learned jack shit.
And the adventures that like the side characters like Finn had to go on felt made up spur of the moment type of thing. They were unnecessary.
Felt very unnecessary. Felt very unnecessary, and at the end of the day, didn't even matter. In fact, actually, at the end of the day, ended up them fucking it up.
Yeah.
They fucked it up. They fucked it up.
They
And
got a
okay,
lot of people killed.
They got a lot of people killed. Okay, and I get that they should have like made this movie a little bit darker. This movie, I know,
I was expecting it to be
a lot darker, like a really sad, somber moments. And so it's okay. The heroes aren't perfect, right? So Finn and Rose, okay, fine, they fucked up, but it's almost like, no, we're gonna go on a happy note anyway and get a bunch of people killed. And it doesn't even matter. It's like go dark with it.
You know what I just thought of though? They needed a way to introduce Benicio del Toro's character. Okay, now he's a swindler. He's basically
He's a swindler with a specific set of skills, and he just so happens to be put in the same cell as
Hang on.
as
Wait,
our heroes.
let me finish my thought though. They needed a way to introduce that character because later on, Episode 9 is going to come back. He's going to redeem himself.
Of course he is.
Because
He's
he
the
feels
Lando
bad.
of this trilogy.
The Lando / Han of this trilogy.
Yeah.
Who made a very brief appearance in the middle of a movie, and maybe we get to see him next film.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
That whole thing with the Finn and Rose going off into that thing. First of all, it just seemed so not okay. We're talking about Star Wars, so me coming in and saying realistic is kind of just stupid to begin with. But it just felt like that was just an unrealistic, just stupid plot point. We're gonna go and try to figure out a way to get onto the ship.
I guess they were trying to build tension by having like a deadline that had to be met. But again, there was no resolution to that. There was nothing that made that satisfactory because their plan basically was screwed up and it was pointless to begin with.
Even the whole setting of that entire scene, that entire mission just bugged me. Like a casino? Why?
I was expecting to see Lando there,
I mean, that might have made the scene a little bit
been
better.
better.
I actually don't.
But it felt like they went to Monte Carlo to find some fucking playboy
I
shooting
felt that
craps.
it was good. I felt that whole scenery was fine. It seemed exotic and Star Warsy, but the plot point didn't need to exist in my opinion.
Because it didn't really move the story forward at all.
No, it kind of grinded it to a halt because a lot of those things dragged.
Yeah, and it just kind of...
They just so happened to be going to the same place where Rose was fucking held and beat and whatever, right? That too, like...
I'm not sure if it was that exact one, but it was like, kind of like...
That animal seemed to know who the fuck she was. I almost expected her to go, they remember me. I mean, just saying.
Toro.
So what were some of the positives of the movie? Seems that we...
I liked Yoda.
Yoda was cool. He looked a little weird at first.
Okay, I knew you were going to talk about his look, so get that out of your system real quick.
Okay, he looked weird.
Okay, he looked weird. This Yoda was the Yoda that that we grew up with when we were kids. This
I just
was
think
a
it was
fun, playful, wisecracking Yoda, just like when Luke first met him in episode 5 and he's getting into his shit and playing with his flashlight and
See, I thought he
all
was
that
doing
crap.
that to test Luke, though, to test his patience.
But that was their relationship.
At first, until he knew he was Yoda. And then he acted serious and was training him.
Well, he acted serious when he was training him. You can't be fucking clown shoes when you're trying to train a Jedi.
I guess.
I'm just saying.
I was thinking that
Yoda,
wasn't actually the way
Yoda thing
acts.
was good because he came in at the spirit of Yoda. He came in at the right moment when Luke basically had completely lost his way and was getting ready to burn down this sacred tree that housed the scrolls of the Jedi, whatever, the Jedi teachings, and then he stops himself, and Yoda basically shows Luke, look, that's not important. Jedi's not on paper, it's in you. And he strikes lightning down on this tree, makes the whole thing go on fire.
See, and that's another thing that I didn't even think about until right now. It's like the whole thing with the Book of the Wills and all the Jedi teachings. It's like it led to nothing at all.
Ultimately, it led to nothing.
It led to nothing. It was meaningless, and even having it in the trailer, like it meant something. No,
Well, that was the thing. Like Captain Phasma, they kept promising, "Oh, she's gonna have a bigger part in this movie," and she's. What's
she
the
had
point?
less of a part.
And
She had less.
she's gone. You know, he's like,
No, she ain't gone. They're gonna bring her back. They're gonna bring her back. They always bring people back. I thought Leia was dead at the beginning. And
She's a
what does she do?
pointless-
She fucking floats like an angel back into the fucking...
That was weird.
That was really weird, wasn't it?
well, she obviously had Jedi training, to be able to do that.
I mean...
Which means that she wasn't just a senator or a politician for the rest of her life. She actually did some training. I was expecting to see her take some people out with a lightsaber or something. Oh, and she was the one who blew up that door when Poe had it blockaded.
Okay, so
that she
she
used
obviously
the
has
Force.
some Force training, obviously.
And Poe was a fuck up this entire movie.
He
Yeah, no
was.
shit,
He
dude.
was.
He was one of my favorite things about Episode 7. I fucking fell in love with that character in Episode 7. And he just fucked everything up. So they went reverse. Usually people fuck everything up and then come back and redeem themselves, save the day. He saved the day and then fucked everything up afterwards.
He should have just listened to the lady in charge.
Yeah.
You know,
Laura Dern. I don't even know what the fuck her name was anymore.
Well, I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, he sent Finn and Rose out to that mission. And that mission ended up bringing Benicio del Toro, which I don't even remember what his character name is, but I don't know if they even mentioned it. Bring him back to the Snoke's ship, and then he turns them in. They find out that the escape pods are actually moving. So it is actually because of Finn and because of Poe that a bunch of rebels got killed. They ended up going to that planet, and ultimately, at the end of the day, that's how Luke died, because he was defending them.
I thought Luke died because he got tired.
Well, he got tired defending them. If they weren't on that planet, about to be wiped out, he wouldn't have had a need to. So ultimately, at the end of the day, this movie, Finn is kind of responsible for, Finn and Rose and Poe are responsible for Luke's death.
I think...
It is. They
Look,
are.
I think Finn needs to be written the fuck out. I didn't like the character in 7. I didn't like it in this one. I'm not going to like him in 9.
I thought
needs to be written the fuck out.
the character was good in 7. I thought, like a lot of this movie, it felt forced and unnecessary.
He was needed maybe the first part of the movie in 7. As soon as he delivered Rey to fucking Leia, there should have been
What
no
was
more
his
fucking
purpose
Finn.
in this movie?
To be a fuck up, to fuck everything up. That was
Exactly.
his fucking purpose.
Exactly. And what was half the character's purpose in this movie? They didn't do anything. They didn't move any story along.
That's exactly you're proving my point.
Their whole journeys
There needed to be no Finn.
ended up to be pointless and
Finn didn't need to be in
help
there.
anything anyway.
You could have left 45 minutes on the cutting room floor by leaving Rose and Finn out of the fucking film. Because their story arcs did nothing to progress anything. Period.
I'm wondering if they cut a lot of stuff out to save for episode 9, to have that as the big finale that explains everything and ties everything together.
Like I said, dude, they
if
better
that's the
come.
case,
They
then-
better come with the fucking hotness in episode 9 and like blow our fucking minds. Like this better be better than 4, 5, 6, and 3 combined. Is all I'm fucking saying. But it's not, dude. They left too much open to interpretation in this one. You still have no fucking answers. When you watch 2.5 hours of a movie, and again, learned nothing, got no resolution, got nothing. Now it's like, okay, well, I guess it doesn't matter who Snoke was. It doesn't matter whose race parents are. And fuck, Luke's gone. Who's going to train this bitch now?
Because she has no real training.
She has no training.
He gave her a couple of lessons.
He didn't even give her a couple of lessons. He made her like
there was one lesson
look
on how
off
to tap
into the
into
fucking
the
force or some bullshit like that.
Yes, one lesson on how to tap into the force, and that's it. And all of a sudden, you tell me this fucking broad can pick up a fucking lightsaber and put Luke on his fucking ass? Get the fuck out of here.
Well, it doesn't make any sense if they're going with that. She's like the incarnation of Anakin or the chosen one.
No, that's
because Anakin
that's
needed
a theory.
training.
That's a theory.
You know?
It's a harebrained theory, and I'm not listening to any more fucking fan theories because everything everyone said about 8 coming up was completely off base.
Well,
and wrong.
that's actually a good point. What did this movie do compared to what because you thought you had it figured out? How did this?
No, I never did any predictions for 8. I did for 7, and I was right on a lot of them.
How did this movie affect what you thought was going to happen with this movie?
Well, let me just say that my thoughts of where it should go were better. I will say this. No, it's like I was saying, it should be about balancing the force, and there were hints of going that way, and if they're going that way, then it's obviously going to be in 9. I thought that Snoke was going to be something a lot more than just something completely generic.
I thought there was going to be a big reveal for Snoke, and his true identity or whoever he was going to have a big impact. And nothing's explained with him. He gets killed.
Well, you know what? I actually thought not going in, I was thinking that he was either going to be Plagueis or some kind of ancient Sith, maybe like just some ancient Sith. And I still think I don't know, because because Kylo's is of an ancient design. There are hints along the way that maybe Snoke was some kind of ancient Sith regenerating himself.
Well, not anymore.
Unless he regenerates himself in 9.
Why did his guards attack them after he was dead? I'd be like, well, we did a shitty job protecting him.
So, I thought that. I lost my train of thought.
Which, by the way, that fight scene was at least good in the film.
It was alright.
While watching the movie, there were hints. While Snoke was talking, he was very, very close to sounding like Palpatine. Did you notice that?
I did kind of notice that, and
even in his like facial expressions, like, it is quite safe for your pitiful little band. Just that kind of like those mannerisms where I'm like, okay, they're not saying that like this is like, because I don't know how many of you actually follow the Legends comics, but there is a storyline where the Emperor, his Force essence basically takes over clone bodies and he gets returns essentially. Now, I know that's Legends, that didn't actually happen, but they are borrowing a lot of the stuff that happened in Legends to write this new trilogy. There are a lot of nods and hints and just straight up usage of things that happen in books and comics and stuff. So I wouldn't put them past it to use that as one of the ideas. So while watching it, I did see hints of Palpatine in Snoke. So I was kind of thinking at one point that would be the reveal. They go, and by the way, I am Darth Sidious. Come at you all cheesy and shit like that, but nah, I don't know. Obviously he's nothing now, so it's whatever. It's whatever.
This movie didn't do anything to. Oh my goodness, I don't know what to think, man.
Snoke, I mean, good God, they were in that room, man. He was so powerful. He was like,
shit.
Hey, right? Come here, Rey. What's up, baby? What's up, girl? What you doing? Get back there. Now come here. Now get back there. Now come here. Oh, you want a lightsaber on the side of your head? Well, kaboom. Ow, what you doing, bitch? No, but this motherfucker gets taken out by a lightsaber turning 90 degrees, or excuse me, what is it? Yeah,
45,
90 degrees.
45.
90 degrees, yeah.
Yeah, 90 degrees.
Yeah. All right, kill her. Wait, what?
I mean, it's pretty much the way it went down.
And then they cut to him, all stupid looking on the floor a few minutes later, and his tongue's hanging out like, oh, I half expected him to be like, oh, I'm back, motherfuckers. And then just like,
Yeah, what was up with that close-up shot?
I don't know.
He looked like a dead deer on the ground. I don't know, man. I'm gonna give this one, as far as a Star Wars film goes, it's
I'd rather watch Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace. I mean, Phantom Menace wasn't horrible compared to this, at least. That's a bold statement, man. I don't know about that. I don't know if I can back that statement. But
I don't think I'll ever watch this movie again. I might see it one more time in the theater, but I can't picture myself getting the Blu-ray and just popping it in to watch the movie, because again, there was nothing that happened in this movie.
I'll do it just for the simple fact that I'd like to hear the commentary from Rian Johnson during the movie to see what the fuck he was thinking.
I'm gonna go watch this one again tomorrow, and I will buy it when it comes out on Blu-ray just because I have all the rest. And no, I'd like to see some commentary on it too, though, and see if there's any maybe they give us backstory in the commentary. Maybe that was their ploy to sell DVDs, sell Blu-ray, is to reveal things in the commentary and extras.
And Disney watched this movie and they're like, Rian Johnson, we're gonna give you some more movies. Do 3 more of these motherfuckers. All right? Hey, Disney, if you're watching this, I'll make your fucking Star Wars movie. All right? Actually, you know what? Let's start over. 7 and 8, it was a dream. It was a dream. It was Lando's dream. He was sitting in his little cloud city smoking on a little bit of puff cloud stuff. I don't know what they make in those little gas chambers in there, but use your imagination. He's going crazy. He thought up 7 and 8. He's having a hallucination. So let's just scrap those. Let's make a new trilogy. I'm your guy. I know what I'm doing.
They'll hire you for the Greedo spinoff.
The Greedo.
Fuck, it'll be
the
epic.
Greedo origins.
I promise you it'll be better than 8.
The Greedo prequel.
Okay, so let's. I don't know. Let's wrap this up. I think we've bitched enough about it. Let's wrap it up. Like, I'm not saying place it in it's too soon to rank it as far as like where does it rank amongst all the films. But I got to be honest. This one's low on the totem pole for me.
Yeah, it was.
This was pretty low on the totem pole.
I think my favorite part was just seeing Luke and Leia together again, even though it was some Jedi hologram, whatever. It wasn't really him. That was a cool moment. But otherwise, other than the fact that this had Luke and Leia in it, it doesn't do anything to move the existing 6 movies forward. And
not wrong.
Whereas that had a complete story arc with Anakin's story, this feels like they just made some crap up to make a new trilogy. And I am still really curious to see how much of Lucas's ideas and storylines they actually used and how much they changed. I can't imagine Lucas had go in this direction. And Mark Hamill actually just recently said that they tossed everything that he gave him out the window, and he wished they wouldn't have done it. And if that's the case, then I agree, because this is, I can't see how this really connects to the other movies.
A lot of people out there hate Lucas or whatever. Wouldn't have done worse. Mm-hmm. You know what? It really pisses me off, though. I hate the fact that, okay, you couldn't just make a movie and make it good and you can watch it and enjoy it and whatever. You had to make a bad movie. A bad movie in the sense that now when I watch this, I go back and I like the original trilogy just a little bit less now. Because I'm going to watch that Luke and Vader scene with the Emperor at the end of Return of the Jedi and be like, oh man, did it again, boy. But wait, in 20 years, you're really going to fuck up.
So this movie ruined your childhood?
Yeah, it ruined my fucking childhood.
But I think that is really, again, we've addressed this, but that is the most important point, is the fact that this diminished, especially Return of the Jedi, it diminished that ending when you realize that, yeah, nothing really changed, So, fingers crossed for episode 9, but man, at this point, I don't have any expectations for this trilogy.
We watch it again, we just think it's the best one ever. Like, we were just like, holy shit, man, this is fucking amazing.
Well,
I'm going to watch it
listen,
one more time with just the hopes that I was just a complete idiot this time and just missed literally everything.
I'll text you guys tomorrow and let you know if we got it wrong. But
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Just, the whole thing just felt.
This thing's getting like fucking rave reviews or some dumb shit right now, isn't it?
And that's the odd. That's the odd part, you know.
It's getting rave reviews from people who did the premiere screenings, a bunch of Twitter people with check marks and all this other stuff. I'm beginning to think they just don't want to say anything bad about it because I don't want to not be invited to a premiere again.
But we ain't getting invited anyway.
I'm seeing people like regular people on my Twitter feed saying the same stuff. Well, what we're saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's one guy even tweeted that the entire theater seemed to hate the movie and was bitching about it on the way out, except one guy who seemed to be pissing himself in delight. But
hopefully we're not in the minority in the opinion on this movie. I can't imagine we are.
I have a feeling the comments are going to be filled with either two people. Most people saying, "Fuck yeah, man, you guys are right," and then one person is going to be like, "You guys are stupid. You make whatever. Better Empire Strikes Back."
Yeah, yeah.
It's gonna sound just like that too. Better than Empire Strikes Back.
I don't know. I don't think. We're just beating a dead horse at this point. Like I said, overall, this movie ranks very low on the totem pole, especially for the Star Wars anthology.
I thought the acting was okay by the people in it.
Oh, Hamill's performance. Hamill's performance was great. Mm-hmm. Absolutely great. The direction that the character took, the material he had to work with, is a different story. But
Agreed.
his performance was amazing.
I think all the performances were good. All the performances were good.
The acting in the movie was good.
Yes.
Did the story move things along? And not really. Not. I'm hoping that episode 7 and 8 are just setups for just like the biggest absolute reveal, tying all the loose ends together.
Dude,
because at this point there's a lot of loose ends. You know,
they need to tie a lot of motherfucking knots in episode 9.
I was hoping this trilogy was going to answer several questions that you had about the other movies, like who created Anakin. You know what I mean? Like, because they kind of hint that Palpatine did in episode 3. You know what I mean? But
the story's not even about Anakin anymore. The story's...
It's not even a Skywalker story.
It's not even about anything anymore. There's no overarching narrative at this point.
One could say that it's a Skywalker story as far as the the lineage goes. But if she's not a Skywalker, then this really is have no point.
It's like, yeah, but Kylo is a Skywalker, and it's like you redeem the bloodline only to have it fuck up again. So what's the point, really? I mean, you're making a movie that makes the other movies pointless. What the fuck, man?
Yeah, that's it in a nutshell. That's the review right there. That you put that as a quote, on the back of the Blu-ray cover.
You made a pointless movie that made the other movies pointless.
How long is this? 20+ minutes. You just summed up this movie in one sentence. So anyways...
You know what else kind of bothered me too? I'm sorry, I know I said we were done, but the power struggle between Hux and Kylo.
And who is Hux? Who is this guy? What's his backstory? What's his story? Period.
We'll get that movie in 5 years.
I liked the other commander on that dreadnought, that older guy, like that.
Yeah.
I liked him. I thought that dude's actually like a badass.
I liked him better too.
Oh, Akbar got taken out with no fanfare.
Oh, exactly.
God, I know, right? Dude, no, but like it was almost like a fucking comedy routine. Like when they were in the ship at the end of the movie, Kylo says fire, and then Hux goes fire. It was almost like power struggle. It's like, dude, you not realize he can choke you by just looking. He can kill you by looking at you.
Fucking Abbott and Costello. No.
It was. I mean, am I wrong? It was almost like a fucking comedy routine. Like, these are my troops. I'm going to tell them what to do.
It's a moment. Comedy in Star Wars is fine, man, but it just seemed like improper timing with the comedy.
Agreed.
No, improper tone. It didn't feel like
tone and timing.
Yeah,
it's
that
like
was a big thing for me.
Those moments like that. Like you look at Empire Strikes Back. There are funny moments between the characters, but it's not in those situations. When Han was getting tortured, for answers about the whereabouts of the rebels, or trying to get to bait Luke, he didn't turn to Chewie and goes, "Oh, this is gonna hurt again." You know, it's just, come on.
Look, one thing you said the comedy felt like we were watching a Marvel movie. It did. It works for Marvel movies. If anyone saw the newest Thor film, there was a ton of comedy in that movie, more so than any other film. And I felt like I was watching Thor again, just without Thor in it, just Star Wars. The comedy wasn't Star Wars comedy, if that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense. You know, it didn't fit what we've had. It was as jarring as the Jar Jar slapstick stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it felt that out of place.
Yeah,
you know,
I agree.
Not that it was bad comedy; it just wasn't Star Wars comedy, if that makes sense.
It was on the level of Anakin in episode 1 where he's flying into that droid facility. It's like, whoa, you know, what's this button do? Oh, you know, and I guess that works well with episode 1 with the tone of that movie.
No, it was worse. Like that first bit. Oh, I can't hear you. You know, like he was
still holding frogs.
That was. You know,
yeah,
like you see in some comedy cop movie, you know.
Can you
like
hear
you said,
me now?
With Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis and Tracy Morgan.
Yeah, it felt like it would have been in something like that. But...
he was trying to fucking Kansas City shuffle him was what he was trying to do.
Yeah, and I kept on hearing people, like, critics and stuff as they got out of, or a couple of days ago as they were doing their reviews on Twitter, or just basically saying, you know, what they thought of it. And goes, I constantly saw... one of the funniest Star Wars movies yet, and it was all in praise. And I'm like, is that really a good thing? I mean, I'm not watching I don't want to watch a comedy. It's a Star Wars movie.
Star Wars is an action sci-fi movie with some comedic elements thrown in.
Well, it's fun. It's supposed to be for just to make it a fun adventure movie. Yeah.
Right. This was more like they were trying to make it an action comedy.
I didn't care for those little birds. Like, they had that as like a comic relief type
porgs?
of thing.
They didn't bug me. They didn't bug me.
I don't like them. If I was Chewie, I'd eaten every single fucking one of them sitting there watching me fucking eat. I'd have eaten them raw.
They weren't overdone to the point where it became annoying.
It did, because one motherfucker sitting on the dash like a fucking Hulu girl and trying to fucking scream. Get the fuck out of here, that fucking guy.
That's the type of shit that's in Star Wars. That's the humor that's in Star Wars. Funny creature moments.
That was too much.
It didn't take me out of the movie.
Chewie
The other shit
and C-3PO were afterthoughts. Like, they just kind of
fucking R2-D2 had like 30 seconds of screen time.
Yeah, it's like they literally were afterthoughts in this movie.
The fucking C-3PO and R2-D2 should be one of the connecting factors of all these fucking trilogies.
Same. Yeah.
I've maintained like episode 4 was told from their point of view. Episode 1 should have been told from their point of view. Mm-hmm. Should not have been made by Anakin. Should have been told, and then episode 7 should have been shown by their point of view, where it's like you see that thread go throughout the entire trilogies. No, I'm not saying rehash it, but I'm just saying that common thread go throughout the trilogies. Okay, we didn't need BB-8. You can have BB-8, but good God, don't replace R2-D2 with them. That's been through the entire trilogy.
My thoughts on that are fuck BB-8, fuck the porgs. And why is it that when fucking Chewie knocked that door down, Luke was just like, Chewie, what are you doing here? Not, hey buddy, how's it going? Haven't seen you in fucking forever. You big walking carpet, come give me a hug.
Yeah, I'm just a little confused at what I just saw. I'm gonna have to watch the movie again to kind of take it all in. But as of right now, I'm
BB-8.
thoroughly scared with the outcome of this trilogy.
And another thing that bugged me. We could go on all night, but the fact that Luke should have went to that island to find answers and to ultimately at the end of the day try to do good and help the galaxy by meditating and trying to figure out what the fuck is going wrong. Why do all these people keep falling to the dark side? Why does it keep happening? Okay, you want to make that your narrative going out through the entire movies? Great. Okay, why does this keep fucking happening? But no, he went there, he said in his own words, I went there to die. Okay. Awesome. You're a great hero, buddy. It took the character and I granted heroes can't always be put on a pedestal and maybe that's the direction they wanted to go with that character, but and I don't know. In some circumstances, that's fine. You know, kind of a fallen hero type of thing. I get that, but my Luke in my world, I want him to be more of a badass, and then he wasn't. Now we're not going to get him because he fucking turned into a fart and joined the Force. And it's about to stop recording because we've gone on and ranted for too long.
So anyways, that's our thoughts on Star Wars. Please put your thoughts down below in the comments. Let us know what you thought. I mean, if you think we're way off base, say so, but give us reasons why. Don't just say, you guys are idiots and you're wrong. Be constructive in your comments. If not, fuck off.
Yeah, because if we miss something that you guys know, please enlighten us, you know, because I want to like this movie, and
Well, there's Star Wars talk, so thanks.
Fuck you, Ryan Johnson, you mother.